Welcome to the first video of my Mech Madness review series. I'll be reviewing all the mech games on the Quest Store and culminating, ending, whatever, with a tier list to let you know what mech games are worth your attention. First up, we got Underdogs. It's a single-player mech-smashing gorilla tag-ass roguelike that was made for the mature VR crowd. And let me just say, we're going to be setting the bar ridiculously high with this one. Is this going to be my S tier one out of all of the mech VR games on the Quest? I don't know, but yeah, it's that good. Okay, so Underdogs is a roguelike arena combat style game that's set in a dystopian future where players follow two brothers fleeing from an AI overlord. Known as Big Sis. Big Sis is trying to hack into the younger brother, who's apparently a super genius, who stole some experimental tech, blah, 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 that old chestnut. Their only hope lies in reaching New Brakka, the last human-run city, but entry requires fighting through an underground series of mech arenas. The game's world is richly designed, offering a convincing alternate future through stylish comic panels and vibrant artwork and an absolute vibe of a soundtrack. Like, the soundscaping in this and the soundtrack are chef kiss. It's amazing. I love it. Underdogs features a gameplay loop where players progress through a series of smaller arena battles against various mechanized enemies, culminating in a fight with an arena boss. Between battles, players choose from random options to prepare for the next fight, such as purchasing parts or repairing equipment, with some choices carrying risk that could negatively affect the outcome. I mean, this adds a layer of tension and risk to the game. If you want to steal from the people that you're trying to buy from, you won't be able to buy anything from them anymore. So, if you don't have the money to buy that really sweet piece of legendary gear and you end up trying to steal, you just burnt your reputation with them, and you'll never see them for the rest of the game. After completing the second arena, the game introduces a twist to the gameplay while staying true to the core loop. Enemies will range from small robotic pests to massive armored bots, offering a dynamic and thrilling combat experience. In Underdogs, each fight begins by calibrating your gorilla. It's a gorilla-shaped mech, and taking control of its massive mechanical arms will be mirroring your movements in VR. The game's intuitive control system, which is similar but not quite the same as Gorilla Tag, makes the combat feel effortless and highly satisfying. Fights are chaotic, gladiatorial affairs where enemies come from all sides of the arena. To survive, players must balance when to fight and when to retreat, prioritizing threats and mastering precise actions like timing headshots or even mid-air hits. The physics-based combat rewards both brute force and a deep understanding of the game's mechanics, making it incredibly satisfying to land a powerful blow and expertly dodging attacks. The fluid, responsive controls create an engaging flow state experience of fast-paced, metal-crunching combat. Better believe you'll feel immersed as you're battling it out in a mech. Underdog stands out as a top-tier VR roguelike, offering a highly replayable experience thanks to its variety of randomized elements. Each run is unique, with randomized enemies, weapons, perks, and upgrades, creating deep tactical synergies. The game allows for extensive customization, with each arm and cockpit offering separate upgrade paths. Players might experience runs where powerful upgrades make combat a lot easier, or others where they will struggle with limited resources and damage. And it all adds to the challenge. This is not an easy mode game. In order to get through the entire storyline, you're going to have to get really good with the gorilla. The addition of skirmish mode, which is a timed wave mode, lets players revisit their favorite builds, which ensuring you can get fun combinations, but you won't be confined to a single run. You get some really sweet items that you never see ever again. You can just load up your favorite mech and just go to town and have a good time. This depth and variety encourages players to keep coming back for more. Underdogs excels in visual and audio design. Like I said, the soundscape and audio tracking is just, it adds to the experience. Smashing things together, the explosions, the really cool, gritty music they chose. It was almost sculpted. It's amazing. Not to mention the game art's direction features distinct gritty character designs and comic book cutscenes that align perfectly with the dystopian world. The lighting and color choices enhance the intimidating yet impressive environments, while the frame rate remains solid throughout most of the action. You might see some slowdowns, but that's just the game trying to put into the slow motion effect to make it more, what do you want to say, more engaging, even though it kind of takes you out. It was a design choice, and it's not a bad one. And back to the sound design. It's just such a highlight. The heavy, impactful sound effects, which emphasize the weight and destruction of the combat. And then there's the fantastic score that just complements the game's tone. It's easily the 10 out of 10 of the game. Just the sound they use in the music is awesome. So, Underdogs is a triumph on the Quest 3. I do believe you can play it on the Quest 2, and of course you can play it on the Quest 3S, and it deserves to be in any VR enthusiast library. It's just that good. Final wrap up: sound design, mechanics, immersion, workout, replayability, originality. This game just knocks it out of the park. I don't want to go with a 10 out of 10 just because I haven't reviewed any of the other games, but man, this came out back in June of 2024, and it didn't even make it into the nominations of Game of the Year. Like, what the heck? I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, just because sometimes you're trying to land a really awesome blow, and the attacks just don't quite line up the way you need it to. And that's more because of my ineptitude, I guess. But man, it deserves 10 out of 10. But I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10. Is this a 10 out of 10 perfect mech VR game? And it's pretty close. Not gonna lie. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. And there are word on the streets or in the VR forums or out in cyberspace that the developer, One Hamza, is actually working on a PvP mode. Yes, they're going to try to get multiplayer and player versus player combat. That's what's going to need to be a 10 out of 10 for me to make this game that epic. If you could just go head to head, not just against those bosses that are really well designed and quite the pain to take down, but if you could take on other players in this kind of arena style mech combat, man, that sounds amazing. So this game is setting the bar. It's definitely the game all the other mech games are going to have to beat. I'm going to put it in the S tier, but then again, there's nothing else. There's no competition. We'll see if the next game's going to conquer it or if any other games are going to conquer it. And with that, thank you so much for watching. You can throw a sub or a like and a comment. Anything to help my channel would be super cool with me. But thank you so much for watching. Bearski out.